So, welcome everyone to the Fall International Conference, How Libraries and Librarians Around the World Support Entrepreneurship in Their Communities and Campuses, brought to you by the Entrepreneurship and Libraries Conference, also called ELC. The ELC hosts free conferences and workshops on how libraries support entrepreneurship in their communities. The ELC is for and by information professionals who support and believe in the power of inquiry and information to transform lives and support entrepreneurial endeavors. Today and tomorrow's conference focuses on the expanding role of libraries in supporting entrepreneurs. Our goal is to better understand the diversity among entrepreneurs, the range of their needs, and the many ways libraries are helping them succeed. So my name is Leili Seifi, and I'm a member of our conference planning team. We hope you find today's conference to be an educational and thought-provoking networking opportunity. Thank you. We wish to extend a big thank you to today's presenters, participants, and planning team. We are going to share the names of our conference coordinators in the chat, so you have that for reference. Yes. We also would like to thank our sponsors, Simply Analytics and Privco, for funding ELC activities. Johan Vasquez from Simply Analytics will give us a quick hello. Johan, please.
Yes, well, thank you everyone, and good morning, and thank you for inviting Dan and I to say hello. My name is Juan Vasquez, and on behalf of the Simply Analytics team, I just wanted to say it's a pleasure to be a part of welcoming everyone to the Entrepreneurship and Libraries International Conference. We're honored to sponsor this event and support the incredible work that you all do, helping to empower entrepreneurs and researchers and communities. With Simply Analytics, we believe that data becomes transformational when it's accessible, intuitive, and connected to real-world decision making. And libraries play a central role in making that happen. So thank you to the organizers for putting together such a thoughtful program. We're proud to be a part of this gathering, and I wish you all a fantastic conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Johan. Now we will hear from Dan Gingert from Privco. Dan, please.
There we
Yes.
go.
Mhm.
Am I unmuted? Oh, can you hear
We
me?
can hear you. We
Okay,
can hear
perfect.
you.
Sorry, Juan could not have said it better. Thank you so much. Keep it quick. We're honored, very honored as well. And to be here to support the conference. All companies start with an idea or one or a very small handful of people usually. A lot of those companies grow, and some of them have grown for 100 years, and some of them are invested in by venture capital now. And so we see it as our mission at Privco to focus on these private companies, whether, and 90% of companies in the US doing 10 million or more in revenue are private. And so we see it as our job to have good information on those and to help entrepreneurs by looking at these companies, doing research on them, most importantly, learning from them to help their own ideas and their own businesses. So we're here to help in that mission anytime, and very proud to be supporting the conference.
Thank you so much, Dan. Thanks for the support, and we'll put Johan and Dan's emails and URLs into Zoom chat. So now we are in code of conduct. We do have an ELC code of conduct, and we will share the link in the chat. I will just read two sentences. Each ELC participant has the right to learn, network, and socialize in an environment of mutual respect and professionalism. free from harassment, discrimination, and retaliation. Creating such an environment is a shared responsibility of everyone involved in ELC events. A few housekeeping details to keep today's event running smooth. We've got a lot to cover, and I'll be reminding in the chat window when you have 1 minute left and when you are done. Presenters, please keep an eye on the time and look out for those time notification in the chat. During the speaker talks, please keep yourself muted. And please keep your video off unless you would like to turn it on when asking a question. Comments and questions are welcome in the chat box at any time. Our colleague Ciara Williams will be moderating the chat and wanted to let you know that we will be saving the chat questions that are asked during this session. Because our sessions are designed to be short and easily digestible, we unfortunately won't have time to answer most of the questions during the sessions. Presentations may include 5 minutes for questions and wrap up, while lightning talks will allow 3 minutes. All sessions will be recorded. If Zoom hacked, we will shut down the session and email you a Zoom link immediately. If you prefer back channel communication, we invite you to use the hashtag InterLibCon. Now, without further ado, I will turn it over to Mintang to get us started. Thank you, everyone.
Welcome, everyone. Hello, my name is Minton of the University of Central Florida in Orlando, Florida, and I will be this morning's speaker moderator. Together, we will be navigating through some amazing discussion today, featuring 5 presentations and 3 lightning talks, a dynamic mix of formats woven throughout the program. So the agenda with the presentations actually will be shared in the chat right now. And let's get things rolling with our first presentation. Our first presenter is Jennifer Burns from the Central Library of Rochester and Monroe County in New York, with a presentation titled The Importance of Digital Equity in Entrepreneurship. Please join me in giving a big welcome to our first speaker, Jennifer.
Hi, everybody. I don't think I can share. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Let me just try that. And, okay. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
That's good, Jennifer.
Okay. Okay. So good morning, everybody. Again, I'm Jen Burns. I'm the head of the Business Insight Center here at the Central Library of Rochester and Monroe County. And I'm trying to figure out who gets the award for being up the earliest. Is it Celine in Alberta? Or I saw there was someone from Texas, or Rachel in Wyoming. So congratulations to all of those who rose to the occasion. And I think the farthest is, did I see Nigeria? But anyway, welcome wherever you are. And oh, it's 7:10. Oh, Jose. California's representing. Thank you. Good morning. Okay, without further ado. So I'm going to be talking about digital equity and how it pertains to entrepreneurship and small business. So we're going to start with, what is digital exclusion? Sorry, I have to get this stuff out of my way. Sorry, can't see. Yep, no, go away, chat. Go away. No, go away. There we go. Is my screen showing the complete thing?
No, it seems it's a little bit, you probably zoom out a little bit.
Okay, hold on. Let me just redo that because it's, okay. And let me get that in presentation mode. Come on, baby. Oh, there we go. Okay, that good?
Yes, right now.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Okay.
That's good, Jen. Thank
Oh,
you.
sorry. What is going on with my computer today?
Better
Sorry.
now. It looks great now.
Oh, I can't see anything though. Hold on. Okay. Can everybody see that?
Yep.
Sorry. Okay. Okay, so first we're going to start off with like what is digital exclusion? So those who do not or cannot take advantage of technology, and the populations that are impacted the most are people living in poverty, the elderly, people with disabilities. Assistive technology is not free. So if you have a low income person with disabilities, that could be even more prohibitive. Non-native English speakers, those living in remote or rural areas, and those in the developing world. So, okay, so again, the communities that are impacted, new Americans and refugees. And so again, if you're in a refugee camp, there's no technology there, right? Not only is there no technology, there's no economic system in terms of banking. You don't learn banking skills. There's nowhere to earn money, save money, things like that, spend money. And they may have really limited hands-on experience if they're coming from a developing nation. Justice involved individuals, they either have limited or no exposure to computers in correctional facilities. This is especially true in New York, where I am. So they may have smuggled in phones, but again, that's not the same. So while they're in there, they're not necessarily learning how, any skills that might help them when they are released. And rural areas that don't have broadband. And I was talking with someone recently who said, we do our MiFi units using T-Mobile, and they said we have to use Verizon because that's the only carrier that works where we are. So there's a lot of factors that can impact this. Okay, some small business statistics. Small businesses are actually a majority of businesses in the United States are small businesses. The federal government, Small Business Administration defines small businesses as less than 249 people, but there can be other definitions, like your state may have their own definition of it's less than 50. But the federal definition is actually less than 249. We have a fruit fly infestation, so if you see me swatting my face, that's why. And because 249 seems like a large business to me, but and 59% of those are sole proprietorships, so they have, they may just have a DBA. Okay, so we have people that come into the library all the time who want to start a business, but they don't know how to use a computer. So what's the likelihood of them succeeding, right? So that's kind of like one of the things we're going to explore. Okay, so I got to find my chat. So let's do an activity if you guys want to put stuff into the chat. Can I start a business without any digital literacy skills? So let's use the age-old profession of babysitter as an example. Can I start a babysitting business without any technology or computer skills? Throw some stuff into the chat. Yes, okay. Okay, so why did that? Okay, sorry. Let me go to the chat. Okay, technically, yes. Okay, word of mouth, yep. Okay, so what if you don't have a phone? How are people going to contact you to hire you? Any ideas? Are they going to come to your door? What about if the person that hired you only wants to pay using Venmo? How's that going to work? They don't carry cash. I know I don't carry cash. How about, okay, we can do flyers. Yep, we're gonna wallpaper our neighborhood with flyers. So are you gonna like hand write a bunch of flyers? How's that gonna look? Is that gonna look professional? Yeah, see, Carrie, thank you so much. I hire off neighborhood mom groups on Facebook and could never manage to babysitter if they couldn't text me. So yeah, so you could go to the library to make flyers and copy flyers, but if you don't know how to use any software, again, how's that going to work out? What if the person comes home and they're slightly inebriated and they say, you need to call yourself an Uber? Millennial me is running out of ideas. So, yep, emergency. Yeah, if they have an emergency, how are you going to do that? No one has a landline anymore, right? So is it doable? Yes, it is, but it's going to be harder, right? You're probably not going to be as successful. So again, it's very, even just taking the example. Yeah, we had landlines in the 90s, right? So thank you, Carrie. Any other ideas on starting a babysitting business? Oh, Carol has a landline. Congratulations. Do you ever use it? Sorry. Okay. Moving on. Let's go back to where's my screen? Okay. Come on. Where are you? Why aren't you moving? I'm sorry. My computer is just not happy today. Oh, remove spelling. There we go. Nope. Nope. Hold on. What are you doing? Sorry. Come on. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Allison, you're right. Come on. Seriously. All right. Let me just do this one more time. Okay. Let's go back to. Okay. Okay. So let's go through the steps to starting a small business, which I know that you guys are all familiar with. But again, it's to emphasize the role of technology in setting up your business. So your legal structure, if you're doing an LLC, you're fully incorporating, that is a filing through your state's Department of State, at least in the United States. I don't know how it works in other countries. And of course, that is an online filing, right? So if you don't know how to use a computer, can't do that filing, that's problematic. Getting your EIN number, which is your tax ID for those outside the United States. Again, you do that, you request that EIN number online through the Internal Revenue Service. You don't need anything to open a commercial bank account, but if you want to do, online banking, if you want to take a look at like, what's my account, how much money do I have in my account, you're not going to necessarily want to call the number on the back of your card and, wait to hear all of that stuff. Accounting systems. So if you want to use, obviously you could use like a ledger book, like really kicking it old school. But is that the best way to go about it? Is that really reliable record keeping? If you're just putting all your receipts in a big box and then at the end of the year, you're going to sift through them. And obviously tax payments, we file our taxes online, right? So again, all technology related. But I have a phone, so that works, right? That's all I need. Is that true though? Phones are not good for filling out a lot of paperwork. I had a client who filled out his cannabis dispensary license on his phone, and that is a 52-page document. right? And it took him an incredibly long time, and he got incredibly frustrated. So, doing graphic design, it's not as easy to, create things on your phone. I don't even know if Canva has an app where you could do that on your phone. I'm not sure. And again, accounting practices. I'm just going to look at the chat in case. Okay. Oh, they do have an app? Oh, thank you. Right. And Wi-Fi. Exactly. Oh, that's so good to know. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. So what is the impact of, digital inequity on businesses? So you can't access free resources, right? There's the Small Business Digital Alliance digital tool library that you wouldn't be able to access. The Small Business Administration has a ton of great information. SCORE, which is the Service Corps of Retired Executives for our non-US friends with us, which is an organization of people that have retired that have, worked in businesses, and then they volunteer their time to help people start and grow their businesses. And Udemy, which is this is actually not free, but it's free if your library subscribes to it, has a ton of classes on starting a small business, accounting practices, you name it. And again, there could be poor record keeping and no social media marketing. So again, I'm going to start a coffee shop and I don't have any social media. I can't tell anybody the drink of the day is, the matcha latte with a special honey, sourced from some rare location, right? And no marketing materials. Okay. So if we look at small business advertising trends, there's word of mouth, obviously, which is incredibly important. You could do a direct mailing, but direct mailings, you would need to go to the library and get that list of addresses, right? If you're using Merchant Intellect or you're using A to Z. So you'd still have to use a computer to get that list. Also, you can use the United States Postal Service. They have a service where you just put in a zip code and say, send everyone in this zip code a flyer, and you upload your graphics or a postcard. But again, that requires a computer. So that's direct mail, which seems old school, but you still need a computer to do that. Social media marketing is rated as the most effective channel for return on investment. And again, social media is essentially free. So that is a great return on investment. And Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, top platforms for branding and revenue generation. And 24% of sales are attributed to social media and e-commerce platforms. And 1 in 5 small businesses derive over half of their sales from these channels. So again, social media, huge impact on your sales if you're not engaging. More than half of businesses surveyed currently use generative AI, and many of them find that essential for competitiveness. The most common AI applications include content creation, marketing automation, customer support, and cybersecurity. And I don't want to get into a big AI discussion on the merits of AI and all that stuff. Business cards. Oh yeah, Ruth. Yeah, Ruth. Thank you. Yeah, business cards. Great idea. Okay, so the weather is really the popular topic here. Okay. So you could just pay someone to do that, right? Sure. But do you have the money to do that? Startups, are operating in the red for the first, 1 to 3 years usually. So is that really something that you're going to be able to afford? You could look at it as it's a write-off, but, So what we're doing here in Rochester is Wired for Opportunity. So this is a $3 million ARPA grant, and for our outside US people, that is the I'm totally forgetting, with the American Rescue Plan Act. So that was a large pot of money that was distributed during COVID. So the main elements of this project are computer classes. So we have basic, intermediate, and advanced computer classes. And we also have classes on special topics like starting a business. We also, if you complete a series of classes, you get a free device. So if you're taking a class on Google Workspace, you get, 3 minutes, oh my God. Free devices, you get a Chromebook, or if you're doing a class related to tablets. We increased our MiFi collection to 2,000. And we initially increased it to 1,000, and then we still had 1,600 holds on our MiFi units. Udemy, again, great platform, has classes on everything. And solar tables, which are throughout the county in parks and other locations where you can charge your device and access the internet. And so some of our small business classes as part of this project are small business startup, where we go through library resources, life plan, filings, online tax filing, and scams and security. And again, nope, and it just went, okay. It just stopped again. So anyway, yeah, so obviously, yep. So what we're trying to do is have it be very holistic, and we're giving you the computer, we're teaching you how to use the computer effectively, and we're giving you MiFis so that you have internet access wherever you are. And so that is our hope that, that aspect of it will help with economic development. And any questions? I don't know if we have time for questions. Oh, MiFis are wireless hotspots. Yes, thank you, Allison.
Yeah, we still have 1 minute.
So, so the MiFis are huge. So that really started in COVID. The Rochester City School District gave all of its students MiFis, but they didn't work. So everybody was relying on the library's MiFi collection at that time, which was 400, and obviously there's way more students in the city school district. LaCroix, $3 million. And the grant, typically the ARPA grants ran from 2023 to 2026, but the county gave us our funding very late in the game, so ours is only turning out to be like 2 years. But yeah, so 3 million. And so yeah, the MiFi is huge. And what happens is people check one out and they immediately put one on hold so that when they bring the MiFi unit back, they already have another one waiting for them. The most challenging part of the program, so Carol, right now we have about 900 and we're ordering 1,000 more. We have more than 900. So the most challenging part was people would sign up for computer classes that were, intermediate or advanced, even though they had zero computer skills, because they just wanted the free device, right? And it turned out, that was not helpful. So we had to step back and say, okay, all of our classes are going to be beginner for the first 3 months, because people were just going into a class not learning anything because they didn't have the skill set. So we had to, take a step back and do that. So
yeah, looks like we still have 2 probably that will be the last question, because we have to get things going. But we do have speakers' contact information, everything that will be shared with all the attendees. So please feel free to reach out to Jennifer later on for any questions. Thank you, Jennifer. You can answer I think it's how many, what's the last question?
Yeah, we've given out about 250 devices since July. So
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that great presentation, Jennifer. So next we have Temitope Aramide Edramala. Please forgive my pronunciation. And Karimet Oluwakemi Aziz from the College of Library of the Federal College of Education in Oyo State of Nigeria with a presentation Empowering Entrepreneurs, the role of libraries in counseling and mentoring persons with special needs. Thank you. Temitope, are you there? Looks like they are not. Can you see anybody say that are they here yet? If you are, please unmute your mic so we can hear you.
I don't see them, Min.
Oh, okay. So how about we move on to the next group and then once back we
I
will.
do see one of the presenters. I've asked to unmute them.
Oh, okay. It's Kurimet?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Oh, Aziz. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Can you share your screen?
Okay, I'm co-presenting with Mrs. Adaramola, but she's unavailable for now.
Oh, I see.
Let me.
So we will, while we're waiting for your colleague, we will move on to the next one first. The next one,
Okay.
I don't know whether they are Victoria San and Lauren. Are you here? Lauren got it, I think. I think I saw Lauren's name in the chat a while ago. So they are
Hi, Lauren's here. I'm not sure if Victoria is on at the moment.
Hi, I'm here. I was just testing some things. Are we going?
We're ready.
We're ready.
That would be great.
All right.
So let me introduce you first. So we will have Victoria Sun and Lauren Goddard from the Lipcott Library of the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. Their presentation is Making Space, Supporting Food Entrepreneurship Through Community Taste Testing Events. Thank you so much for being so flexible. There you go first.
No problem at all. Let me share my screen. Can someone tell me if you're seeing my
Yes.
PowerPoint? Okay.
Very good.
Wonderful. Let me just get out my notes as well. Okay, awesome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming to our session. So my name is Victoria Sun, and I'm here with Lauren. As Min mentioned, we are here from the University of Pennsylvania. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So first, just a little bit about us. Like I said, my name is Victoria. I use she, her pronouns. I have my official title here on the slide, but I am also the Entrepreneurship Librarian and Liaison at the Business Library at Penn. Lauren?
Hi, I'm Lauren Gotti. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm in my final semester of my Master's in Information at Rutgers University, and I've been working really closely with Victoria since the first snack stop in last December, so I've been here for about a year now. Thank you.
All right. So just to give everyone a bit of a roadmap, we're going to give you a bit of information about our institutional context. Then Lauren is going to talk about our event series, which we call Snack Stop. Then we'll conclude with some outcomes and some key learnings. Throughout our presentation, we're going to have 2 opportunities for discussion via Padlet. We've included the QR code here as well as the bit.ly link, which Lauren will also put into the chat. You are welcome to open it now. You don't have to. We will include these links again as the time for discussion arises. So first, just a little bit of information about our institutional context. So I'll start by talking about the business library. I'm very lucky. I'm one of 6 full-time business librarians. And as I said, I focus on entrepreneurship. As a physical space, the business library is located in the main library building at the heart of campus, which you can see in the photo on the left-hand side. And we have a wing, a dedicated wing on the 2nd floor of that building. I say this to just highlight that we are not embedded physically or organizationally within the business school, and we're actually located a few blocks away from where business students spend most of their class time. Despite the name of the business school, Wharton, being in the name of our business library, all people affiliated with Penn are welcome to come visit our space and use our resources, which include computers, Bloomberg terminals, study rooms, and our seminar room, which is pictured on the right-hand side. It's that room with the frosted glass window, and that's actually the space where we host these events, which Lauren is going to talk about in a bit. Before we do that, let's talk a little bit about the university and about the business school. So the University of Pennsylvania was founded in 1740 by Benjamin Franklin, a famous American inventor, as well as a number of other things. And then after that, in 1881, Wharton, the School of Business, was founded by Joseph Wharton. And Wharton was also an American entrepreneur. So especially based on these 2 founders, right, there's a very strong culture of invention and innovation, not just at Wharton, the business school, but also across campus of Penn. We've included some stats here about the size of the student population at the business school. And also, as a special mention, we suspect some folks here may be familiar with WORDS, the Wharton Research Data Service, which is a data warehouse managed by the Wharton School, frequently used by business librarians. So the last bit of our institutional context, we'll just talk about what entrepreneurship looks like at Penn. So as I'm sure other folks here on this call can relate to, entrepreneurship doesn't happen just in the business school. It happens very broadly and across campus. And there are all kinds of high-level supports for students interested in entrepreneurship. For example, Penn has a center dedicated to entrepreneurship and innovation. It's called Venture Lab, which is pictured on the top right photo. And Venture Lab includes a space called the Food Innovation Lab, which is a licensed test kitchen where students can develop food business ideas. And you can see a little bit of the Food Innovation Lab in the bottom left-hand photo. So this space, the Food Innovation Lab, is who we partner with on the excuse me, event series that we're going to be talking about, but more on that later. It's time for our first discussion question. So we're going to ask everyone to take like 1 minute and go to Padlet and answer the question, what kind of programming do you currently offer to entrepreneurs in your library? I'm also going to open Padlet here. For those who haven't used Padlet before, we're just responding to this column here. You'll get a sneak peek of the second discussion question in the middle column. So all you'll do is you'll click this plus button to add your comment, and it'll all be anonymous. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what people say. And also, as you see people's responses filter in, please feel free to respond directly to other people's comments here. You can react using the little thumbs up emojis. You can leave a comment if you want. All right, so some things are coming in already. So some workshops, so like how to use particular library tools to do research, arts entrepreneurship workshops, patent workshops, Saturday farmers markets. That sounds very interesting. So this person is new, very understandable. Business help one-on-ones. Oh, that's great. Business symposium, quarterly summit. Awesome. So please keep these coming. We're going to send out the link to the Padlet as part of our slide deck later for people to refer back to. And our hope is that people can use the answers in this column to get more ideas about other programming things that they might want to do based on the responses here. So yeah, thank you everyone for participating. And there will be another discussion soon. Before that, I'm going to throw it over to Lauren.
Hi, yes, thank you so much for participating in that. There's some really great ideas. But let's talk about what Snacks Up actually is. So Snacks Up is a collaboration with the Food Innovation Lab, as Victoria had mentioned. Using our seminar room, we host between 3 to 5 student entrepreneur teams who are from the Food Innovation Lab. And the volunteer teams are selected by the Food Innovation Lab manager, who has a lot of direct experience working with the teams during their time in the cohort. And the program itself is an opportunity for the student entrepreneur teams to offer samples of their products and to engage directly with their community, both face-to-face and through an online survey that each of the teams create for their own product. And next slide, please. Underlying everything that we're doing, we want Lippincott Library to act as a distinct space for students to feel supported. As Victoria mentioned, the library is located within the larger Van Pelt Dietrich Library Center. And because Penn has such a rich entrepreneur environment with many high stakes competitions that include some really hefty financial prizes, we want to offer a low stakes public speaking and pitch practice opportunity for the students that still have a really direct feedback and direct stakes as well. And the event allows students with who are interested in entrepreneurship to connect directly with Victoria as well. And in addition, we want to show our support of the overall student population during some high stress times, such as midterms and finals, which is when we plan our events, and to offer students their favorite thing, which is free food. Next slide, please. So the image on the left here is the library display table where Victoria is able to, again, directly interact with the attendees. And the library itself has our own digital survey where we collect data specifically related to foot traffic in the Lippincott Library, marketing effectiveness, some demographics, and there's more information on the survey itself, which we're including in our additional resources on the slide deck. And we incentivize the students to fill out the surveys with a swag offering. And our most recent swag offering was a little mini travel utensil kit with the Lippincott branding on it. And the next slide, please. So here's some examples of our student products. The student teams offer a really wide range of products. There's savory options, there's sweet, there's health focused, vegan, low sugar, natural ingredients, among a bunch of different things. And some of the students' products showcase their cultural connections to food as well, such as Zen broth, which you'll see on the left, which is inspired by the student's relationship with both her grandfather and her East Asian heritage. The students also come from a really diverse range of academic backgrounds as well. We have undergraduates, graduate students, and students from across the entire university from different schools such as Wharton, the Graduate School of Engineering, the Graduate School of Education, and the School of Engineering as well. Next slide, please. We hope to host 2 different snack stops a semester, one during midterms and finals. And I won't be going too much into detail on our timeline. Again, these will be shared in the slide deck later. But in sort of brief, we want to manage the workload and stay on track for planning during the semester. And we split the timeline into 3 different event timelines. So we have our pre-event, our event lead up, and our post-event. So next slide, please. And because we want to keep in mind both the students' other responsibilities and our own responsibilities, we have crafted a schedule of deadlines to kind of balance our planning and needs for condensing the amount of information gathering we had done. And to that point, we've created documentation for everything, for our forms, marketing information, the amount of information we had to gather from each team as well. So next slide, please. After the event, we email the student teams and the Food Innovation Lab Manager to both thank them for their participation in the event and to request that they join us for a brief debrief meeting. You said you're hungry. I'm also starving. Sorry, somebody said that in the chat. So a brief debrief meeting, and to encourage the participation, we offer incentives to the teams as well, which is things such as photos from the event and some other stuff. We have 100% participation rate from the student teams in our debrief meetings, which is really awesome. And that includes the teams that have participated more than once. And next slide, please. After seeing the details of how we've been using our space, we'd like to ask back on the Padlet, let me drop that back in the chat. What sort of events like this think you could work at your library, and who could you potentially collaborate with? I'm excited to see what you guys post.
As you think about this question, we understand that not every organization will have a licensed test kitchen. So we're encouraging you to think broadly about, what might a version of this look like for you? Yeah, that's very real. Someone says that they're limited by space. I think we're very lucky that we have the space that we do. And one of the goals of the event is to get more people into the space. A cafe that's library run. Oh, that's interesting. That's very cool. How did you find out about these departments and programs on campus? That's a good question. I'm hoping we'll have time for questions at the end. And also, if we don't get to this, please feel free to reach out to us after our presentation. local food small businesses for taste, supermarkets for taste testing, small business center, maker spaces. Yeah, product that people can showcase at the library, especially if they're like, fidget toys or something. No hot food. That's very real. The water and power needs. Okay, that's a good question as well. Please bring that back up in the question and answer session. Awesome. All right. Just to be mindful of time, we're going to keep going back. But again, everyone will get the link to the Padlet later. And we hope that this has sparked some interesting ideas for everyone. It certainly has for me. All right. So we're going to conclude by talking about some outcomes. So first, let's talk about what the student entrepreneurs told us they got out of the experience. So this is all based on the debriefs that we do with all of the participant teams at the end. So the student team said that they really enjoyed the opportunity for one-on-one feedback, getting that face-to-face interaction with potential customers. They felt that the attendance levels of the event were strong but not overwhelming. And as Lauren hinted at, we've had a number of teams participate 2 or even 3 times at this point. And they noted that some people who came into the event had also attended previous events and they remembered their products from the last time and were able to give feedback based on what they remembered about the product then versus the product now. And that was a very unanticipated and exciting thing that we didn't anticipate, but that was especially useful for the teams. We've also included a quote here on the right for one of our student entrepreneurs, and we're also happy to share that since participating in our Snack Stop events, 2 of the student teams have officially launched and are selling to customers, and a 3rd is hoping to launch in the new year. So that was the student side of things. Now let's talk about the library side of things. So this chart combines data from our survey at the library table from last year's 3 events. As a reminder, as Lauren hinted, we incentivize attendees at the event to complete all of the surveys, including the one at the library table, by giving them a prize if they do so. So this is one of our survey questions, how the attendants heard about the event. As you can see, the vast majority of last year's respondents heard about our event through our half-sheet flyers. What this is that during the event, a library staff member actually goes floor by floor through the library building, distributing flyers to students and saying, hey, there's free food on the 2nd floor. And we really try to do that, especially when we notice foot traffic slowing down of people coming into the event. And we're going to show an example of our flyer on a later slide. As one other example of the kind of data we got from our survey, we asked about respondents' familiarity with our dedicated library space just beyond the event. And this is especially unique because of Lippincot's location. We're inside the main library building, and so we only ever get gate counts for the whole building, never any foot traffic data about our specific space. So that's another piece of unique data. We've gotten a lot more, but those are just 2 examples of what we've gotten from our survey. So the last section here is just key learnings. These are things that we hope are transferable for anyone hoping to do something similar. So the first is the effectiveness of flyering. As you saw, the vast majority of our attendees heard about the event through our half-sheet flyers. We have an example here on the right. And in thinking about it, this makes sense. I think this strategy is especially useful for an informal event like this one, sort of a drop-by event where students come, stay for a bit, and then they leave, especially as compared to maybe a more formal event like a presentation or a talk where there's registration required beforehand. However, there are some staffing implications to this, right? It means that we need to have always at least 2 library staff members to run the event, 1 person to man the table and 1 person to do the flyers. Another key learning is just about the importance of documentation. As Lauren has mentioned, we have templates, forms, checklists, and all of that has made each successive event easier to organize than the last. We really think about this through an entrepreneurial mindset. How can we continuously improve upon our successes of the last event? And then the last key learning is that it's just about the power of partnerships. So this event series only works because we have a partner in the manager of the Food Innovation Lab, and she has an established connection to an entrepreneurial community at Penn. She's the one who decides what teams participate based on where they are in development, and this allows us to focus on just event logistics and marketing, while she focuses on recruiting the teams and helping them prepare. So that was our whirlwind tour of our Snack Stop event series. We have some more pictures here. I have my email on the screen as well. Please feel free to get in touch at any time. We also, we won't go through this, but we have some additional resources in the slide deck that we encourage folks to look through once you get the slide deck. And again, please feel free to reach out with any questions. And I hope we have time for questions.
Yes, you do. Thank you, Victoria and Lauren, for such a great presentation. Since you started late, so we do have 4 minutes actually for Q&A. So
Great.
thank you very much.
I guess we can start with the Padlet questions. I'm trying to remember what they all were. I think someone asked about the how we heard about the departments on campus. And then, oh, also please, folks, feel free to put questions into this third column of the Padlet. When I first started as the entrepreneurship librarian, I started an informal environmental survey. It's just a Word document on my computer. It is at this point 3 years old, and I'm not finished it because new initiatives keep getting added. But I just went for me, I went school by school I just went through all their websites. And that's how I discovered this. I also was very lucky to have colleagues who had been covering entrepreneurship before I was hired, and so I was able to get some handoffs from them in terms of the liaison. All right, I see the next question. How do you share/cover costs? So the startup costs are covered. That's really a question for the Food Innovation Lab. Venture Lab, as the larger center, does have its own sort of pot of money. And then as a subset of that, there is some money dedicated to the Food Innovation Lab. So my understanding, though I'm not the administrator there, is that there's some opportunities for small scholarships to help the students cover like food costs. There's also a shared pantry in the kitchen. But if you have more questions about how the Food Innovation Lab works, send me an email and I can connect you with the administrator over there. As business librarians, are you employed by the business school or the university library? The university library, yeah. So we report up through the library system. Were there requests for water, power, cooler storage from the teams? I'm speaking a lot. Lauren, do you want to take this one?
The answer is generally no. We tell the teams to come fully prepared. So we do offer like extension cords, but we haven't really had to use any of them. Yeah, no cooler storage. The only thing we have a warming pad, which I mentioned in the comments, that was brought by the Food Innovation Lab manager. But we've only had 2 teams that have had like hot food, but it's warmed. It's not, they don't do any like preparation for that here. Yeah.
Questions about food handling and safety. We're very lucky that the Food Innovation Lab is a licensed test kitchen, and the person who manages that has all the certifications necessary. So we really rely on her to handle all of that stuff. She trains the students on food safety, and all that sort of thing. Is your Word document more of an environmental scan of? Yes, it's specific to my institution. It's specific to Penn. And do the startups get paid for these events? They do not. This is entirely voluntary, but we do try to make it worth their while. Lauren hinted, in addition to the survey that they get, the product feedback, we also, after the debrief, we send them things like photos taken during the event that they're able to use for any promotional material that they want. We have some demographic information from our own survey that we share with them. And we also, where possible, we share email information of the attendees who said that we could. So that's like a contact list for anyone interested.
Maybe we will stop here
We can stop.
How about that? So, because I just noticed that our colleagues from Nigeria, they are here already. So next we will have Temitope and also Karimet for their presentation. Their presentation is Empowering Entrepreneurs, the role of librarians in counseling and mentoring persons with special needs. Okay, let's get started.
Thank you very much. My name is Temitope Aramide Adaramola. I'm from the college library. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
From college library, Federal College of Education, Special, Oyo, Nigeria. And co-presenting with me is Aziz Karimat Oluwakemi. Thank you for having me. The paper I'm presenting today is Empowering Entrepreneurs, the Role of Librarians. I want to share my screen. The role of librarians in counseling and mentoring special needs persons.
Okay, yeah.
Oyo State, Nigeria.
Right now. Thank you.
So, as we all know, librarians increasingly play important roles
the roles of librarians cannot be overemphasized. They make sure they serve as counselors and as well as mentors, most especially to special needs people who are in the field of entrepreneurs, because as we all know, they face so many discrimination, so many stigmatization. And as a result of this, librarians play a major role as counselors and as well as mentors. Entrepreneurs, special needs entrepreneurs are often faced with barriers related to information access, market visibility, digital skills, and self-confidence. But as librarians, we help the special needs to strategize, we guide, we motivate, and empower individuals with disabilities through tailored support services. People with special needs are mostly underrepresented in the field of entrepreneur in Nigeria. And as we all know, they must be empowered in order to confront to the societal expectations. Entrepreneurial empowerment of individuals with special needs is unique in that it is willing to reveal the efforts and weaknesses of people with special needs in order to contribute to Nigeria's growth. And it helps everyone who has their own, in order to put their own worth in the society. But it is up to the individual's determination. We have, what is entrepreneurship? It's a process, it's a procedure that begins with recognition of entrepreneurial opportunity. The special needs people need to identify the type of entrepreneur they want to embark on, then to pursue that opportunity, evaluate the visibility of the opportunity, how possible is it going to be, the development of the product or service, and how it will be provided to customers, assembly of human and financial resources, organizational design, and the pursuit of customers. Empowerment, on the other hand, is a continuous process in which an individual grows more independent, proactive, innovative, and adaptable to change. Persons with special needs are those who have physical, mental, intellectual, or sensory disabilities that align with attitudinal and environmental impediments, which often prevent them from participating in the society. For this context, for this paper, there are different categories of disabilities. We have the internal illness, such as diabetes and cancer. We have learning disability. These are those that have a problem with writing, reading, and we categorize them as dyslexia and dyscalculia. Then we have sensory disabilities, those that have hearing impairments, visual impairments, and the likes. And we also have mental disabilities, those that are depressed and are suffering from schizophrenia. We have physical disability, those that have physical challenges, maybe missing limbs, handicapped in terms of physical structures, physical body structure. Then we have the intellectual disability. So this one's we have examples like Down syndrome. They have mental retardation and the likes. What is the role of librarians in counseling and mentoring persons with special needs? As we all know, librarians are gatekeepers of knowledge. They are information specialists. So librarians play so many roles in this era of 21st century. A librarian helps individual needs persons to develop their entrepreneurial skills through different ways. They help them through counseling, through mentoring, through guidance, Librarians help entrepreneurs with everything about entrepreneurial planning, up to their product development and even the expansion of their products. Then, how does librarian comes in as a counselor? A librarian can provide emotional support. Like I said the other time, that special needs people face a lot of discrimination, face a lot of stigmatization in our society here. And as a result of this, their emotions are mostly affected. But with the knowledge of emotional intelligence of librarians, they help them to provide, through counseling, provide emotional support, active listening, and basic guidance that help special needs entrepreneurs navigate personal and business challenges. Many individuals with disabilities encounter discouragement, like I said. They even encounter discrimination or limited family and community support. But the librarian comes in by creating a welcoming environment, offering reassurance, boosting confidence, and connecting them to appropriate business service provider. And they also provide assistive technologies, disability support organization, counseling in form of counseling. The information need of the special needs persons. They now help to provide information in that regard, and they provide referral to their unique needs. Also, the knowledge that each learner has unique characteristics. We all know that we have different categories of these special needs people, like I said. So as a result of this, they have their own unique characteristics. They have their own unique passions. They have their own unique skills, intellects, and needs. So as a result of this, the librarian provides an inclusive education. This type of inclusive education provides for all. It provides the education for all, whether irrespective of their disability, irrespective of the degree of their disability. And as well, they provide sufficient independence and individual. They help them to cultivate self-sufficient individuals, independent and innovative individuals who can apply their knowledge, skills, and abilities for financial gain. Also, librarians help to repackage and disseminate appropriate information to special needs people. Like I said the other time, they have varying disabilities. And as a result of this information needs to be repackaged in order to be accessible to each special need user. Like the visually impaired now, we know they cannot access images and the likes. So the librarian will provide this information in form of audio, in form of braille, and other accessible formats that the visually impaired can access. Also, we have the hearing impaired individuals too. Also, the librarian can provide this information in terms of graphics, in terms of images that will make it accessible to the hearing impaired, and other accessible forms depending on the various depending on the various disability or the needs of the special needs. So also the librarians also play a role in helping these entrepreneurs, the special needs entrepreneurs, in order to identify the particular information needed for their entrepreneurial skill. In the age of big data, fake news, misinformation, in the era of this social media, there are so many information that needs guidance, that needs counseling in order to know the right one, the reliable, the relevant data, and the right, they need the essential and the right counsel in order to identify this, so that they can make the right decision and establish economic resilience and in the face of diverse challenges. Then we have librarians also, we are custodians of knowledge. The librarian provides entrepreneurship education in a way that accommodates both the able and disabled people. That is when I said they provide inclusive education, irrespective of their disability. They provide inclusive education, and this helps to develop or to widen their wisdom, their self-esteem, their skills and knowledge. in order that is required to propagate their business. Then librarians promote sustainability through entrepreneurship education, which emphasizes innovation, leadership, building structures, generating value for customers, cultivating risk-taking skills, enhancing wealth and knowledge, and preparing individuals for the future. Then we also, as librarians, we also provide teaching information literacy skills for market research, identifying opportunities, accessing government grants and loans. The special needs, they need the special needs user or special needs persons. They need the right information concerning these areas, grants, loan, opportunities, research, and the likes. So the duty of the librarian is to mentor them in this regard. They provide them with this information that can help them in this aspect. Then librarians, through mentorship, organize workshops, training sessions, and one-on-one coaching on topics such as online marketing, product packaging, record keeping, and customer relations. All these, they need guidance to walk through it. They need workshops, they need training, which librarians also provide. Then, conclusively, I don't know if there's any question. Entrepreneurs should have access to important and valuable information that adds value to their end users. The purpose of information delivery is to provide accurate, timely, and concise information to the appropriate individual in the shortest amount of time. So it is very important to update, to provide updates on progress towards certain goals or interests, including any losses. So there's need for effective information packaging, and this should be visually appealing, clear, and user-friendly. And this necessitates librarians providing counseling, mentoring services to people with special needs in order to access a specific set of skills that will allow them independently acquire and use massive amounts of information at their disposal in order to develop in their entrepreneurial skills in this 21st century. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. We still have a few minutes for Q&A. I noticed that there is a question from Carrie in the chat. What special training can librarians access to support entrepreneurs with special needs? We will have a Q&A session until 10:15. Okay, thank you.
Can I please, I can't hear you.
Oh, you cannot hear me? Oh, sorry. Can you see
Yes.
can you check can you see the chats, the question?
The question, please.
Yeah, the question
What
is,
special training can librarians access to
yes.
support what special training can librarians access? Yes, there are special training that librarians can access. Like in my own college now, we train teachers of special needs persons. And there are also workshops, there are conferences that librarians can also attend in order to get themselves equipped in this aspect.
Great. Thank you very much. Do we have any other questions for Aramide and Karimat? It certainly is a very eye-opening presentation for me, like and because I mean in the context of the working setting, like in US, I think probably the counseling part will be very strictly regulated. But looks like it's more yeah, the librarians actually after listening to your presentation, I just feel like super proud of being a librarian. It looks like it's a superhuman super librarians there in Nigeria. Good for you. Yes, it's very proud to be part of the profession. Let me see, do we have 9?
Mental goods.
Okay, so that's not a question, it's a comment. Doing well and making waves in Nigeria. Wow, great. Thank you for bringing this to us. It's really encouraging presentation.
There
Yes.
is a question from Lucretia.
Oh, okay, please. Oh, is there wraparound support for their entrepreneurs? We can provide some emotional support, but not all trained counselors. Okay. Yeah, that's from Brooklyn Public Library.
Some emotional support, but are not trained counselors. I'm just going through the comments, please. I can't hear you. Is there something?
Yeah, I think there's a question, it says, is there wraparound support for the entrepreneurs? In terms of the Lucretia, probably you can elaborate a little bit on your question. Are you asking about the mental health and things like that part? Because you said we can provide some emotional support but not trained counselors. Is that you want to ask them, like whether they will have any mental health or special support for the entrepreneurs in that regard? Okay. Mostly that, but also financial needs. Thank you. Okay.
Maybe the network is not, I can't, the voice is not too audible, ma.
Okay, so we have another, probably the last question. Can you give us an example of a student entrepreneur you helped? And what were their needs and their business? Do you have an example of a
student entrepreneur you helped? What were their needs, their business? Yes. I had a blind student, a visually impaired student, I mean. So, and he was guided through an entrepreneur, which he eventually did well. He is now into soap making and what is it called? Soap making now.
Oh, great. Thank you very much.
Yes,
okay, so it looks like we are also to the end of this program right now. So thank you very much. And I'm sure Aramid and Kermit will be very welcome your questions and we will share their contact information if you want to know more about their support to the entrepreneurs with the special needs. So we are going to take actually a quick, right now, 5 minutes. Sorry about that because we have some delay break. So please come back promptly at 10:20. And at that time, I will pass the mic to Carrie Tone from University of Toronto Libraries in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Okay, so have a break to 5 minutes and we will see you at 10:20.
Welcome back, everyone. My name is Carrie. My pronouns are she, her, and I'll be your host for this next section. As we progress through the rest of our day here, please remember our code of conduct and housekeeping rules as we transition back into our program. Now we have our first lightning talk. Please welcome John Savercool with the San Jose Public Library in California with the presentation, Don't Go It Alone, Libraries Connecting Entrepreneurs to Local Expertise like SCORE. John, are you here?
I am. Hello, everybody. See, there's my screen shared okay?
Yes.
All right. So hello, everybody. My name is John Savercool. I'm one of the career and business librarians here at San Jose Public Library in our SJPL Works program. And today I wanted to talk about the partnerships that we have created over the about 9.5 years that we have been in existence here. I had the fortunate to be here from the beginning of the center. And so we started about 9.5 years ago. We have done just over 1,000 programs that are focused on business with about 10,000 attendees over those last 9 years. And we've done that with 45 partners. Of those 1,000 programs, 5 of them have been done by the staff, i.e. me, here at the library. So I do not hold a ton of background in business knowledge. Learned a lot through those 1,000 programs that I've hosted here at the library, but really we have partnered with 45 organizations that have really brought in that knowledge for our entrepreneurs and business owners. A little bit here is kind of showing our growth over time. In the pandemic year, we really had our spike with our most programming and our most patronage, and then a little bit of a drop off after that as the world shifted from in-person programming to virtual programming. A lot of my partners didn't need the connection of our space anymore because they were able to serve their communities directly through virtual. But we have started to see kind of an uptick of things coming back to the library a little bit here as people are wanting stuff more back in person. So here's just kind of a sampling of the partners that we have worked with over the years. A lot of nationwide and federal pieces, local government pieces, as well as a lot of nonprofits that work in this area. And then today, really focusing on SCORE. They have been our biggest partner providing these services to our customers. So they kind of represent 15% of all of our programs with 156 and 25% of our attendees at that 2319. So they have been our kind of best partner, and we really developed this from the beginning with them. As we were creating the Career and Business Center, we had an advisory board of local business knowledge individuals and groups that helped us create, with their knowledge of what the community needs, create the center. And this created a lot of buy-in with our partners from the very beginning. And once we actualized the space and started to provide programming, it really started their want to interact with us. So we did a lot of that in-person programming with them, and really this is where the referrals in both directions started. So one of the services that we can provide as a library is that market research end. We are co-located with San Jose State University, so we have access to IBIS World, as well as some databases on our side like Data Axle. And so the normal interaction between us is, while we might be doing some programming with them, if an individual comes for wanting to start a small business, my first referral, after making sure it's the right connection, is to send them over to SCORE. They start to work with SCORE for their free one-on-one business mentorship. And then when they get to that market research part of their business plan, they get sent back over to me, and I show them all the resources that the library has to help them in that market research. So that was our relationship up to the pandemic. Then again, with things going online, things changed a little bit. SCORE, their funding changed during that time and recently has been even cut more. I believe they're no longer receiving any federal funding. And a way that we've been able to continue this partnership is opening up our space to them for their membership meeting. They no longer have their own location. They were in a co-working space for a while, but that had a fee to it. But we were able to move them into our space about 11 times a year in the conference area that I have. We're able to close that down for them like we do for a program, but they're able to have their internal meeting here, helping to support their ongoing work. Those referrals still happen, that one-on-one market research still happens, and now as there is more want for in-person programming from the business community, we are in talks to start a drop-in hours where we can advertise it through our advertising network, where people can come in and ask kind of their random business questions to start that interaction with SCORE if they need that deeper help, as well as the concept of a watch party. Well, while all their programming still is online, opening up our space and broadcasting their online program in our space to provide that in-person piece and that networking that comes with that in our space. And so kind of some of the best practices that we have had with um, building all of these partnerships. We really kind of went on the idea from Field of Dreams, if we build it, they will come. We, like most of you, I'm sure, we don't have a marketing budget. We really had to rely on word of mouth. And so starting programs with partners with the expectation that maybe we aren't going to get a ton of people to the first one, but we just kind of are diligent, stay with it, and the people do come once the word gets out. Um, where we have been successful in keeping these partnerships and where I receive a lot of positive feedback from my partners and maybe hearing some not so great things about other partners out there in the ecosystem is that we just really strive to have good customer service. We get the details for their program before they're coming in. We have the room ready to go when they get here, and then we take care of the room afterwards. It doesn't seem like a lot, but this has really been kind of our golden ticket to keeping these partnerships. They all look forward to coming to do their programs in our space, and because we make it easy on them. Again, going above and beyond in this way, apparently this is above and beyond. It doesn't feel like too much of a heavy lift here, but this is really where we've been successful in creating these partnerships. So that's just a little kind of overview of that there is a lot of opportunity out there to connect with these local pieces. We've your local, more on the public library side probably, but your Chamber of Commerce's, those local groups that are doing pieces here, again, with so much going online. If you're in a rural area, there's a lot of connection with maybe your local chapters being able to do that watch party concept, some different ideas out there. Again, we've been doing this for about 10 years, so please feel free to reach out. My contact information is there. And just a little side note, if there are any job seekers here in the group today, that is the other half of the work that I do, and please feel free to reach out for any kind of resume or job seeking assistance, kind of the other half of my deeper expertise on that end. And happy to open it up to any questions.
Thank you, John. What a great first talk. We do have 2 minutes before our next talk, if there's any questions. Oh, there's one from Jessica. Do you want to read it, John?
We've got to find it in
Or
there.
I can do it if you like.
Please do.
What do you do if you do have a partnership with an organization that you can tell is not providing the same level of customer service that you want your patrons or clients to experience? What a great question.
Yeah, so that definitely has happened over the years. And so one of the things that we do is we vet our partners in a real way of that our first program, whether it be a series or individual with them, we participate in it. So a staff member participates in all programming, and then that allows us to really make sure of the quality of the program. And then if it's not up to the quality that we expect, we then will have the conversation that sometimes we might say, that our schedule's really full and we just kind of let it drift away. Sometimes we'll have that more deeper conversation about how that it's not what we are expecting. But by being in the room, it does allow us to maybe interject into that conversation and provide that little more customer service, and maybe sometimes guiding that customer to another partner that might be better off to serve them.
Great. Thank you so much for that. It sounds like more like a co-teaching than sort of just a space tenant, booking a space relationship. So that I think goes a long way. Okay, we need to move on to the next presentation. Please follow up with the speakers. John has kindly included his contact information if you have further questions, and we will have a discussion period later today. Now I'd like to welcome our next presenter, Ifeaka Chukwu Oshinulu from the Center for Learning Resources at Covenant University in Ota in the Ogun State of Nigeria, with the presentation Empowering Entrepreneurs Through Library Innovation, the Role of Academic Libraries in Supporting Campus-Based Startups in Nigeria. Take it away, Ifeaka Chukwu.
Can you hear me?
In fact, I can see you. John, could you please stop sharing your screen?
Yeah, I thought it did, but
It's
there we
getting a
go.
little
Sorry
stuck.
about There we go.
There we go. Okay. We can hear you. You're a little quiet.
Okay. Is it better now?
Yeah, how's that sound for everybody?
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay. I like to share my screen.
It's still a little bit quiet. I wonder if you can turn up any volume on your end.
That.
Yeah, we can also turn up our volume on our ends, everybody.
Works.
Are you able to share?
Yes, I'll do that in a minute. Can you see my screen now?
It looks like something's happening. There we go. Yep.
Okay. I hope I'm audible now.
Yeah, I can hear you. We can see your background though. Do you want us to see a presentation view?
No.
There we go. That looks great. Take it away.
All right, thank you. I'm grateful for the privilege. My name is Fakatu, and I work at the Center for Learning Resources, Covenant University of Ogun State in Nigeria, and I'll be the topic I'll be handling. The title of the paper is Empowering Entrepreneurs Through Innovation, the Role of Academic Libraries in Supporting Campus-Based Startups in Nigeria. And this is the overview of my presentation, the background and motivation. I'll run through this overview. During the when I saw the need, first of all, the need for this title, the motivation behind it was a personal need, it came about as a personal need to see libraries or librarians. Can you see my screen, please?
Yes, now we can see the back, like the non-presenter view again. It was presenter for a minute and now it seems to have gone back to, I could see all your slides, but we can hear you much better now. Do you want to go into presentation mode or just keep it like this?
Is it back?
There, now it is. Okay.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so
no problem.
I saw the need personally to make a tangible impact in the university community, and that's motivated me and some of my colleagues to begin to ask questions because of some of the provisions that have been made on campus for entrepreneurs. But we know that as librarians, academic librarians, we were doing, or that's for us, we're putting in the work, but it looked like maybe we're doing so much, and then a certain group of persons, the maybe entrepreneurs, were not getting so much benefits from what we're doing. It looked like we were generalizing, our services and all of that. So that motivated me to, begin to ask some questions. And then I've also seen that libraries, uh, in these days, libraries, the services from libraries have gone beyond just, offering books. Libraries for me are being underutilized. So libraries in these days should be innovation hubs, and that will help to even to service the SDGs 4, 8, and 9. And those are some of the motivations that pushed me to look into this study. And because entrepreneurial activities is on the increase or on the increase in across Nigerian campuses, librarians need to also get involved, and start looking beyond the traditional services so as to so that our works will be appreciated, And I've also observed, even in literature, that many libraries, even though we are doing so much, especially in the academic libraries, from literature and observation, even though we're doing so much, there is really no structured entrepreneurship support, as it were. So it makes it look like, okay, maybe there's really nothing, or that's from the end user side. They really don't know because there are no structured support, as it were. So I think I would like, because I'll be looking at a bit of how it is done in Covenant. So I would like to also sample a few, I just want to get some ideas from us. Of course, we could share a few ideas on how this works, how supports to the entrepreneurs work in our institutions. So I don't know if you mind, you could just drop answers to these questions in the comments section. Does your institution or organization have a startup incubation center? Does your library support entrepreneurship? And if yes, how? Maybe just short answers will help. I'll take a look at some of them if you have the time. I'll also drop the link to a form, a Google form for that poll, just a quick poll so that we can also interact. And so the objectives of the study, I looked at 4 objectives in the study, as I'm saying, to determine students' awareness of library services. Like I said, it came from a place of observation after so much work and all of that. So I also needed to examine the extent to which students utilize academic library resources to develop their business ideas or run campus-based startups, and then to assess students' perception of the role of academic libraries in empowering young entrepreneurs, and then to identify gaps and make recommendations for strengthening library support for innovation and entrepreneurship. And the methodology used, I used a descriptive survey research design. And even though it was, okay, because the group of persons involved, they are not every student is an entrepreneur, we agree. So I needed to get students who had startups, at least for this paper. And the students, 10 students participated, 8 of them from Covenant University in Nigeria, and 2 of them from Harvard, and that's Afe Babalola University in Nigeria. Both schools are private institutions. And the justification for that is that in these institutions, there are some kind of centers that serve as hubs, for entrepreneurs. So that's why I tried, that's justification for those institutions. And then, so a questionnaire type and a structured and open-ended responses questionnaire was distributed, and of course, 10 responses were gotten. And the analysis was done using themes under awareness, use, innovation challenges, and expectations. And the key findings, even though from my respondents, the respondents' field of study span through economics, that's the business side, engineering, computer science, architecture. Yeah, I had a response from architecture, but their startups, fell under these sectors. We had 3 of them from fashion, and then we had 2 of them from AI and tech, and then we had software as a service one, and then for logistics, under logistics companies or sector, we had 2, and then real estate, we had property technology, we had 2, and then civic technology, we had 1. Sorry, for real estate and property technology, I had 1 response. And the key findings under awareness of library supports, it was maybe surprising in a way to see that 30% out of my respondents, as 3 out of the 10 respondents reported, that they, of course, they were aware of library services that support entrepreneurship. It means the other 7, of course, reported that they use library services. Of course, they were aware of library services, but not to support their businesses or their startup at any point. And then for student perception, the students perceive that libraries provided general study services, but lack targeted tools for business. And of course, the students also mentioned they needed training on business planning and some of those areas. And then the students also mentioned demand for access to market research and financial intelligence databases. Even though from the responses, the library is perceived as potential innovation partners, but for most of the respondents, they felt they were not getting, or they didn't get the support for their businesses, as they didn't get entrepreneurial support for their businesses. And discussing the findings, generally from the findings, it confirms that it resonates with global evidence on library roles in entrepreneurship support. And you see that libraries must expand beyond, that's academic libraries now, must expand beyond traditional academic content, from the respondents, because the way most of the respondents perceived services, it looked like, okay, it's just academic content. But in the true sense of it, we have provisions targeted towards entrepreneurs, but unfortunately, awareness is low, or was low as at the time of this study. It was actually low. And so I saw the need for collaboration and more collaboration with some of the solutions already on ground. I saw the need for more and more collaborations to make even some of our work sing regarding entrepreneurs. Now, the Covenant experience. Some of the supports available for entrepreneurs at Covenant. One of them is the Hebron Startup Lab. The Hebron Startup Lab is a center that is headed by a curator, and it is for startups. Now, the entrepreneurs get the necessary support that they should get from where the idea, of course, from the ideation stage all through, and they are guided up until when they leave campus. Sometimes, if they also need some support, they also come back, but they start like that. That's the Hebrew Startup Lab. The curator is usually a faculty who works. There's a period of like for a tenure of I think 2 years, and then the school management appoints someone who they deem fit to also take over from whoever should be the curator. And so these young entrepreneurs are guided. And from the respondents, my respondents, I have seen that there is need to collaborate more with the Hebron Startup Lab. It's not like some of these resources for startups are available, like databases that the institution has subscribed to are there. But for them, I think maybe librarians, because we are just we are doing our work, but maybe we are not targeting some of those users. We were not doing it directly to target these young entrepreneurs. So they just think they don't have enough resources for their startups. And then another center is the Center for Entrepreneurship Development Studies. And that offers, because there's a lot of incorporation of entrepreneurship study skills in the academic work of the students. So there's a center that handles that. There's a technopreneurship lab. So where students, they teach them on the theoretical aspects of entrepreneurship, what some of the things they need to know. And so that's also available. There's also the Cisco Networking Academy on campus that also helps, young entrepreneurs with ideas and all of that. Then there's a Town and Gown workshop series. This is held from, every semester, and it is targeted towards programs. It is done program by program. And it's just an idea. Of course, we would have an idea what that is. It's just a point where there's a kind of handshake between the industry and academia. So the way it works here, for students who are in a particular program, and entrepreneur who is established in the industry is invited to come around and then have a talk, like a workshop, and then with these students. And they begin to, of course, share their ideas, ask their questions. They want to learn this, and this forms a bridge, or acts as a bridge between the institution and the industry, so that even when the faculty is back in the classroom, he knows where and what some of the skills to focus on, and he helps drive home the lessons. So,
hi, sorry, Ifeakachuka, we are at time. Do you want to maybe just say a few last words, please, and then we'll move on? Thank you.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so now I would like to say that for ongoing collaborations, now currently because of the from the respondents, I've seen the need for ongoing collaboration, and that is where we are right now. There are ongoing collaborations, and we have started to organize virtual workshops for startups and then invite alumni entrepreneurs to participate to help these young entrepreneurs. And then we're beginning to collate the recordings of these workshops and useful resources so that it will be available to the young entrepreneurs on campus. And then also use more, we are beginning to also involve ourselves in more collaborations with these solutions on campus so that our work will be seen. And
Great. Thank you so much.
yeah.
We do need to wrap it up there. Thank you very much for this presentation. I can see you have a lot more to discuss. It is time now to move on to our second lightning talk of the session. And we're going to welcome H.D. Mackay from Vanderbilt University in Tennessee and Michael Gruendijk from Concordia University in Montreal, Canada, and they are presenting on Data Web AI, Better Market Intelligence for Supporting Entrepreneurs. Take it away, HD and Mike.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, awesome. Just getting my screens set up. Good to see everyone. Hi, Carrie. It's been a while since I've seen you.
Hello.
All right, so pull up all my notes here. Okay. So, hi, I'm HD Mackay. I'm currently a business librarian at Vanderbilt University. Previously, also held some roles in design research. Mike?
I am Michael Gruendijk. I'm a business librarian in Montreal, Quebec.
So our story begins in January 2025. Earlier this year, Mike had developed a proof of concept app that generated low-cost industry reports using public data. And when we connected, Mike was thinking about next steps with this app. And I was looking for ways to engage the growing entrepreneurial community on the Vanderbilt campus, but in new ways. So in the spring, we applied for and received a digital lab seed grant from Vanderbilt Library. And this seed grant helped us scope out a collaborative summer project to see if there was any substance to some of our initial ideas. Before we go into the project, just take a step back. Why are we doing this? So we're trying to address three longstanding issues we've seen as academic librarians working with entrepreneurs over time. One is that business databases are often the most expensive in our collection, and they're not getting any cheaper. They often don't allow for commercial use, ironically, which creates weird gray areas on campus. And then they also don't allow for access by alumni or non-campus participants of campus entrepreneurship programs. Secondly, while there's a vast amount of public data that's available for early stage entrepreneurs to tap into, there's often a learning curve to make really efficient use of them that they generally don't have time for. And then finally, even if we could afford to buy all of the market intelligence reports that we wanted, the proprietary methodologies make it really hard to know which numbers are really useful. So we're hoping that we can now use some of the relatively low-cost web services and AI tools becoming available to help address some of these age-old issues in new ways. We now have a website and a working prototype, and the website provides some background that we're sharing with you today and some of the approaches that we're hoping to take going forward. We want to use the working prototype app to learn more about what kind of tool is desired, not only for entrepreneurs, but also by business librarians as the key stakeholder. In the next few slides, we'll highlight some of the technical and design research that's gone into the prototype so far. Over to you, Mike.
So our project began with the hypothesis that we could connect a single large language model to a lot of government data, and that this LLM would then be able to provide high quality cited answers to research questions. We learned though the reality of this was much more complex. So a single large language model, again, I'm talking about things like ChatGPT, Claude.ai, or DeepSeek, they couldn't effectively handle the wide number and variety of available government sources. So if we connect all these sources and ask questions, it can't process all of that information. We struggled with this for a while, but our breakthrough solution came with a pivot to what's called a multi-agent system, where we had multiple large language models, each one responsible for different research areas. So this change immediately improved our app's responses and made its citations and accuracy much better. As we solved one problem, though, we found another. The government data we were drawing from, like US Census Bureau and other sources, often needed cleaning and enhancement. So to get around this, and again, to have better responses to users, we started creating custom data sets, taking this government data, enhancing it ourselves, and then uploading it and connecting it to the AI agent connected to our app. The most recent improvement to our app is organizing data sources into groups that were then connected to specialized subagents. So we have a large language model or an AI agent dedicated just to industry research, another dedicated just to searching Google and Google News for information. So these subagents act as expert researchers for the main AI or main AI agent that then ensures the final responses are comprehensive, reliable, and properly cited. The one issue we're trying to figure out now is just in terms of consistent, accurate citations and this issue of hallucinations. So just as the more people talk to our app, the more these hallucinations are starting to appear. So it's just how long-term do you ensure reliability?
So in parallel, we also explored new design directions through qualitative research. We interviewed 6 stakeholders within the Vanderbilt entrepreneurial ecosystem, and these included teaching faculty, faculty directors, program managers across the business and engineering schools that were involved in entrepreneurship of some kind. Around this time, the Center for Tech Transfer also hosted their inaugural Southeast Venture Showcase, so that provided some additional opportunities for useful conversations. The Innovation Center introduced us to ventures that went through their federally funded iCourse program. And by the end of the summer, we had spoken with about 7 CEOs. So far, we've done some top-line synthesis of the data from both stakeholders and entrepreneurs. But we are now doing deeper analysis to explore more tailored workflows for the next version of the prototype that we hope to build. So this initial set of data is also being used to develop a more robust methodological protocol for future grant applications to further this work. The entrepreneurs we talked with so far were mostly from science and technology backgrounds, given the innovation programs that referred them to us. And they were learning the business part of the building a venture. The ventures covered a range of sectors, and the entrepreneurs themselves identified with different generations. And everyone said there was some challenge to market sizing in their experience, although there was quite a bit of nuance there as well. And all identified as male. And this obviously limited group is a convenient sample that's bound by timing, resources, and not surprisingly, organizational processes. So, but still, it was a good start, and it was invaluable for evaluating and updating our initial research methodologies. And for sure, we will be engaging a more diverse set of entrepreneurial experiences with future projects going forward. So at the end of the day, our product vision is to create a tool for early stage entrepreneurs actually designed with their workflows in mind. But on the way there, we are also seeing that this approach to creating more meaningful this approach to creating this project is providing more meaningful ways to outreach and engage with our entrepreneurial communities as per our mandate. This approach also helps business librarians such as ourselves to build AI skills by directly working with and talking about and building something. And lastly, I do believe that business librarians are uniquely positioned to fill a gap in the business information landscape. By working on projects like this, perhaps in the long term, this is actually how we get a better seat at the table while raising the standards of the sector overall. Today, 2 more slides. Today, Data Web AI is an umbrella initiative that will house a variety of research and applied projects. We're just getting started and still have a lot of work to do and opportunities to go after. Final slide. If you're interested in following our work, we now have a list that you can join. If you'd like to try the prototypes, send us an email to request an access account. If you're doing similar work that aligns well with our approach, we'd love to explore future possibilities. And most importantly, if you have constructive critique to offer on anything you've seen or heard so far, we'd love to hear from you. And last but not least, we'd like to acknowledge the generous expertise of the digital lab team that supported our project over the summer. Aaron, Anthony, and Kazembe were a great help moving key elements of the project forward. Also, Jennifer Bocher for introducing us to one another and sharing her expertise and early feedback on our work. And that's a wrap.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And you're right on time. We're a few minutes behind the clock, but that is no problem. Thank you very much for this timely topic. And I am I felt like a target customer, so that was great. Thank you so much. For our next presentation, we have Aisha Mohammed from Plano Public Library in Texas with Reframing Library Resources for Entrepreneurs. Welcome, Aisha. You are muted. You are muted. No, I can see that your microphone is off.
How about now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, great. Sorry. Hi, everybody. My name is Aisha. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's see. Sorry, I was ready, and then things moved out of place.
Take your time.
Thanks. Okay. Here. All right. So my name is Aisha Mohammed. I'm a librarian at Plano Public Library. Today, I'm going to talk to you guys about reframing library resources for entrepreneurs. Before I get started, I want to do a little bit of an exercise with you guys where I would like you guys to imagine your favorite library resource. So this could be a database, a service that you provide, a piece of equipment at the library, anything that's not a book at the moment. And just kind of hold that resource in the front of your mind for a couple minutes. Whatever it is, I'm sure it's great. If you do want to share in the chat, please do. But I want you guys also now to be very honest about, do people know about this resource? Do they know how to use it? Does your staff know to tell people about it and how to use it? And if you kind of answered like, no, or you wish it could be better, then you're in a very similar place to where we were at here at Plano, where we wanted to make sure our resources and all the great stuff that we have at the library is really centered and made available for entrepreneurs. So how we kind of got that was kind of in this is our sort of our flow. So in today's agenda, this is kind of the way that we do things is we talk about our networking programs, staff training, connecting programs with the business edge, cross promotion, and then constantly thinking about the future. So the two programs that really help us with reframing our library resources are Job Resource Connection and Team Up for Entrepreneurial Success. So I'm going to briefly talk about both of these programs. So at Plano, we plan our programming kind of by seasonal sessions, so like 4 months segments. And we plan out these programs. Job Resource Connection is twice a month. And it's really our job seekers support group. In it, sorry, oops. Back to that. We help connect job seekers to partners in our community. So this could be our workforce development groups. These could also be different partners like Capital One or AARP or Senior Source to kind of help talk about resume building, as well as mental health in job seeking, interview prep, and so forth. Twos, on the other hand, this is our Team Up for Entrepreneurial Success, is our program that happens once a month. We team up with SCORE, which, as mentioned in previous presentations here, they're a great resource for our community. We do other programming with them, but this is our consistent one throughout the year where they work with our staff and present on various topics once a month to a host of aspiring or new small business owners. The thing about both these networking group programs is that they are about an hour and a half long, with about 45 minutes to an hour dedicated to like new content or presenting on a topic. And then we have time to network. So this is opportunities for attendees to talk with our partners and presenters and our staff, as well as to talk with each other. But we also do have a very important component for both of these programs, which is surveys. So when they come in, we have a QR code that they can scan. And in this form that it links to, we ask how they heard about our program, what are they hoping to learn, what are things that they need help on, and in contact information, because we do try to build up a network where we do send like recap emails, or if there is a job fair or some other related event that's happening in the city, we do share that with this kind of building of an email chain. We also love this opportunity as a staff engagement element, because we do have people come ask us at the desk. As a public library, we see a lot of different people. But this is an opportunity to get a really targeted audience of people coming to look for small business help or job help, which really kind of makes sure that we're at our ready to plug all of our great resources and direct them to some new ones. And then the last bit when it comes to our programming that's very vital to ensuring our programs stay at a great quality is our program feedback form. So this is filled out by staff, and they give us feedback on how our programs went. So these are staff that are presenting the programs. They let us know if they felt like the program needed more time or less time. If maybe the day of the week wasn't great. This also a great place to share positive feedback. So this is where we get impact stories about great positive interactions they've had or their ability to help patrons on a different level. So gathering all that information and disseminating it, because we do have librarians that are focused on programming. I'm one of them. And we look at the data, see what our community are telling us, what our staff is telling us. And from that, we go and build staff training. So we do encourage our staff to use LinkedIn Learning and Udemy. These are two databases that we provide for the public to access to do skill building. So promoting our staff to use those also ensures that they know how to use them as well. Stuff that our staff have learned through LinkedIn Learning is Adobe Creative Suite programs like Photoshop or Illustrator. YouTube is a great resource, especially for learning how-tos and tutorials for like Morningstar or Value Line. These are resources that we do plug to our, especially our small business patrons. And you can usually find some of their tutorials on YouTube. And then peer-to-peer training, which is, I think, very essential. And it's, I think, where really great things happen in conversations between staff. We can't be everywhere all at once and know everything, but sometimes it's in those moments that we are teaching others or learning from others that really ideas start to spark, and we see things and the gaps that we weren't aware of, like maybe we need more AI programming here at the library, or maybe our program on reference solutions, which is one of our databases for market research, needs to be specifically geared towards market research, which is something we've changed with our programming. Then that leads us to programs with a business edge. So We have a dedicated team of content creators for each programming area. So business and entrepreneurship and workforce development is one area where we have a great team of people that are contributing ideas, revising stuff to really help with making sure our programs have that business edge and have those learning objectives that cater to what our patrons need. But none of that is really, I mean, that's all important, that's all great work, but the thing that really brings everything together is the cross promotion. So in that, we have to make sure that our programs kind of get out there, that people are aware that we are doing these things. So one of those things is making sure that we have a slide at the end of our presentations that says, here's upcoming programs that are really great, that are related to the content that we are currently talking about, and that are presenting on. And then we also do go out to the community. So over here, you can see a picture of our staff at an outreach event where they will talk about our different programming areas, and as well as all of our databases that are related to their business, our job seeking. And then this is kind of like a cycle. So we kind of do all this stuff, get that feedback, and then constantly change and update our programs. The picture here we have on the screen is from our Youth Entrepreneurship Camp, which is a three-day camp that we designed in the summer. We've done it, I think, 3 summers, going on to 4 now, where we have kids ages 13 to 18 come and work together as teams to develop a business program that they present to some community members. It's a great, we partner up with SCORE, and they have that mentorship element to really think about what is an elevator pitch, what goes into signing a business idea and presenting it to a bunch of strangers. So it's really great. It's a great way to get to know our teens, but these great ideas about meeting the community needs for all age levels really comes from hearing from our community and interacting with them. So other stuff that we have also developed from this, other than the Youth Entrepreneurship Camp, is something called Career Quest, which is for teens, but with the element of job seeking and a little bit of a financial literacy bent to that. We've also developed something called Empowering Entrepreneurs, which is a series that talks about how to use our digital creation space, which is about 3 of our libraries have these rooms that are dedicated, that have equipment that are dedicated to digital media projects. So they'll have podcasting equipment, a Cricut machine, access to all the Adobe Creative Cloud, as well as movie editing software. This is stuff that patrons can rent the room and be able to use and create. So we have a lot of podcasters here in Plano, which is really fun. But all that kind of comes from hearing from the public and then making sure they're aware of all the great stuff that we have here. So I want you guys to think of that resource that you thought of at the beginning, and kind of center and think about it now with these kind of steps. Is there a way that you can, in a sense, gather feedback from your community to see if this is something that they need, or are you already aware that they need it? Do you have the license, the equipment, or is it something that you already have available at the library and continue to have it? Is there an element of needing to empower your staff, and how can you do that? Can it be peer-to-peer teaching? Can you teach your staff to know how to use this resource? Or are there online resources to show them how to use it? And also having a team of people to really develop and center this in the kind of services that you provide to your entrepreneurs. And finally, you want one of the really great interactions that I do have with the patron is whenever I'm able to tell them like, yeah, we do have this resource, and they kind of have this baffled look on their face and like, really? I can check that out for free? And I get to say yes. And it is such a positive experience. And I'm hoping that this presentation helped get you guys closer to be able to have some of those interactions as well. Thank you. But if you have any questions about how we do things or more about our services, our forms, this is my email. It's amohammed@plano.gov. I'm happy to connect. And thank you all. If you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you so much, Aisha. We do have some time. We've got about 4 minutes for questions. I don't see anything in the chat right now. Anyone? Okay, I see Jennifer Bocher. Do you have a question?
Hi.
Please.
This is a very mundane question because your insights were very insightful, but I heard that you were collecting how people heard about your programming, and I was wondering, what is the best way of reaching that client who you don't have that special relationship with?
It's, I think, creating those opportunities. So like those networking programs are useful, but one of the things we did notice from it is that they did hear about our program a lot of times by word of mouth. So with someone that maybe comes to a regular story time, was like what one dad told me. He's like, I came to your story time and I saw that you guys also have this. This was great. So we do try to center our programming in a couple different places to try to reach a lot of people that might not see this often. So we have like a lobby TV that has a list of like our upcoming programs. And that's way at a glance, people can kind of come in and see, oh, that's happening at the library, which sometimes people just serendipitously do show up that way. We do have a outreach team that's really great at putting our upcoming programs, especially that are business related or job related, on the city LinkedIn learning page. And so it's trying to hit like a couple of places. And I will say the most success, some of the really great success that we've had is in partnering up with SCORE. They also reach out to their clients and they send like, hey, we have this TWOS program coming up every month with the topic, and that does help encourage participation. So I think it's just diversifying in a multitude of ways.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. We do have time for just a couple more questions. We've got 2 questions on your teen program. So or teen programming. Can you please tell us more about your job search program for teens is the first question. And then the second question is how many teens on average come to your programs and how long did it take for those programs to take off?
So most of our programs throughout the year for teens, it's really hard to get them there, but we do kind of go really fully invested during the summer. And because they're off school, we do get a lot more engagement there. We have a movie maker camp program that we provide twice in the summer that's always booked out. We did have advanced registration. And for each of those programs, we can only take about 20 kids, and we do get 20 kids for each of those. So that's a total of about 40. But that one we've done consistently, and I think that one is known that we do, and it is a 5-day camp. So sometimes having a series, because parents are always looking for camps, so we do kind of appeal to what parents are looking for in their kind of keyword search. The youth entrepreneurship camp, we've done it for like about 4 years. We get we can take a maximum of 20 kids. That's what we kind of planned for, but we usually get probably an average of between 13 and 15. Because sometimes kids don't show up the second day or the third day. But that one also does advanced registration. Career Quest is also a 3-day camp, and we just did it for the first time last year. That one had 13 kids. We did do advanced registration, and I think a lot of the kids kind of heard about it after going to youth entrepreneurship camp. So we did have some overlap with those kids. We did plug it on our volunteer portal as well as through the city LinkedIn Learning page as well. And that one is a combination of, it's a tabletop, it culminates into a tabletop game. So it's a D&D game of life based off of them doing a little bit of prep work the first 2 days. So we help them pick a job, figure out how much they're earning, what they want to save, and then also budget, like what are they spending their money on? And then they take all that information and test it against our dungeon masters or life masters who really, really try to bankrupt them. So it's fun. The kids, I think we do surveys at the end of each of our programs to get feedback from the kids about what worked. And they all really enjoyed the game element. I think it was kind of dragging where they're like, do I have to fill out this form and this profile? And I'm like, yes, it's important. But we have taken all their feedback and are making adjustments for this summer.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That sounds like great. I played D&D personally and I have a great time, so I would love to see the Dungeon Master script or the Life Master script for the workshop. That'd be awesome. Okay, so we are actually just looking for our final lightning talk speaker. Is Sophia Adeyeye here? If she is here, we will welcome her to the lightning talk stage. Does anyone maybe have Sophia on there? We don't see her in the participants list. Okay, so I think what we'll do is it is time to move on. But first, we'd just like to thank all of our speakers this morning. This wraps up the official programming for day one of the ELC International Conference on how libraries and librarians around the world support entrepreneurship in their communities and campuses. And so please stay tuned for our concluding unrecorded networking discussion. We would also like to extend a big thank you to our speakers, panelists, planners, sponsors, and of course to all of you who carved out time out of your busy schedules to join us today. Recordings of today's sessions will be available soon on our website. We hope you'll stick around for some networking and fellowship. If you can't, be sure to rejoin us tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern for day two, featuring more insightful presentations, lightning talks, and a special bonus update to our Cannabis Entrepreneurship and Libraries Conference from 2021. You'll use the same Zoom link as today, and we also invite you to connect with us in our online community on LinkedIn. So please, as always, keep an eye on our website for the latest updates. And I will hand it over to our planning team, who will now lead us in to our networking discussion, and that will not be recorded.